Welcome to Executive Insights for Life Sciences Innovators, and thanks for joining us. On this podcast, we'll explore leadership, innovation, and growth in the life sciences sector. I'm Don Alexander, founder of GeneCoda, a boutique executive search firm dedicated to connecting visionary leaders with life sciences companies shaping the future of therapeutics and scientific tools. On each episode, we'll dive into candid conversations with industry pioneers, uncovering strategies, insights, and real-world experiences that drive success in our industry. If you're interested in presenting as a guest of a future episode, please scan the barcode image at the top of my video frame and follow the instructions. Now I'm pleased to be joined by Jim Buck, the CEO of Medcura. Welcome, Jim.
Hi, Don. Glad to be here.
Excellent. Thanks for joining us today, Jim. Medcura is a medical device company developing advanced hemostatic and wound treatment products. With decades of leadership experience in healthcare and medical technology, Jim's guided Medcura's mission to make surgical care safer and more efficient. His work focuses on solving one of the most persistent challenges in healthcare, rapidly controlling bleeding with safe, effective, and easy to use products. So, Jim, let's dive in. If you could tell us a little bit about your career journey and leadership philosophy, what first inspired your journey into the healthcare and medical device industry at large?
I had no idea when I went back to graduate school in the early 90s to get my MBA at Northwestern. I was in publishing. And I went back and just before started my first classes, a buddy of mine was diagnosed with leukemia. And I decided that I'm not a good spectator. I decided that I was going to try to do something. He needed a bone marrow transplant. And so I went on a mission to find a bone marrow donor that would be a match for him. Ended up raising $190,000 and testing over my 2 years at Kellogg, Northwestern's B School. Tested 2,500 people in two different major drives, and it turned out to be a real personal discovery of mine that I liked working with people in life sciences. I worked with a number of physicians, and in raising the money, it was a personal discovery. A professor of mine kind of took me under his wings, and I changed my concentration from finance to healthcare administration, and I then opted to pursue a medical device career because of the entrepreneurial opportunities that emerge out of so many entrepreneurial opportunities out of the med tech field. So I went to work with St. Jude, now Abbott, and for 11 years in a variety of different ascending roles, and all the way through corporate development and corporate strategy, and then ultimately left to take my first startup opportunity, which was another biosurgery company called Closure Medical, and I got lucky with my first one. We after about 4 years sold to J&J for 370 million, and that kind of cemented my role in serving new technology and being from a private equity and or operational standpoint. And it's been a great run since. And really, that's what took me to Medcura, because the Medcura board came to me and said, what I did at Closure Medical was the playbook for what we wanted to do at Medcura with a platform of innovative technology. And that was more than 7 years ago that I joined the board. And 3 years ago, the board asked me to step off the board and into the CEO role, and it's been a phenomenal run since.
That's great, Jim. Really great overview. You've worked with clearly a lot of different leading companies as well as in the earlier stage company side of the equation. So yeah, really appreciate your perspective. Can you share maybe pivotal moments in your career that helped kind of shape that leadership path?
Well, I think that to start with, it was that I was very intentional coming out of business school in the early mid 90s, and that I wanted to work with one of the big boys where I could learn the industry and learn from multiple different perspectives, from outside, really understanding kind of an outside in approach, understanding the channel to the customer, marketing and sales, understanding corporate development and where really a industry places the most value in an asset, and then operationally. And I was lucky enough to have multiple different exposures that gave me foundationally the knowledge base I needed to then step off. I always intended to step off into more of an entrepreneurial path. And after 11 years with St. Jude Abbott, I did so. That was, I worked the plan. And I think it wasn't my great insight. It was that I had a great mentor at Northwestern who helped me kind of set aim for my career. I'm to the point of focus. I have found that focusing in on a space in biosurgery has been a good move for me, in that I've developed an expertise across this, understanding the players, again, where value is added, industry players, and also kind of the venture universe around this space, to give me, I think, the right insights I've needed to be able to build these biosurgery companies in an otherwise pretty challenging environment.
That's great. We'll dive into some of that shortly as well, Jim. Let me ask you, how has your leadership style evolved, I suppose, over the different stages of your career?
Um, what's the old saying that good judgment comes from experience comes from bad judgment. That's it's kind of that. I'm not smarter than the other guy. I don't necessarily work harder than the other guy. I just have been fortunate enough to be surround myself with good people. I have a pretty strict code for the type of people I work with and choose to work with, and with that, there's been some osmosis over the years, and I feel that I have developed over time really good instincts. I also think that one of the things, that if I've done something well in my career, it's I take a 360-degree view on everything, and the people I surround myself with, I want to understand how they view a particular subject. I want to pressure test them. I want them to pressure test me to come to the best decisions. I Whatever the furthest thing is from a micromanager and an autocrat, that's me. I want there to be collaborative thinking. I want people to feel a sense of ownership across the universe of our business, and I think that I've by and large been able to accomplish that, and that companies I've run directly or through private equity have been our turnover has been excessively low, and I think the experience has been, I've been lucky enough to be a part of a couple pretty nice wins.
That's great, Jim. Truly a team sport, this industry is.
Big time.
Well, let's dive in to Medcura's technology a bit so that our audience has a feel for that. How is Medcura tackling the long-standing challenge of bleeding in surgical and emergency care?
Well, listen, it's 2025, and uh, industry has done a really good job of coming up with solutions to address various bleeding problems across the body. If there are a variety of different, really very innovative technologies to stop bleeding in whatever the surgical specialty. There's nooks and cranny, innovation, regardless of the idiosyncratic nature of many surgical specialties. What we've done is is one of those technologies that has been used to stop bleeding for a long time is a polysaccharide-based technology called chitosan. It comes from crustaceans, and it's been used outside the body for many years, 40, 50 years. Trauma, combat, it's ubiquitously used and successfully used as a very strong hemostatic agent. What Medcura did was we fixed chitosan. Chitosan hasn't been used inside the body despite its strong hemostatic properties because the resorption of it is there's a variety of toxicities that have prevented it from being ever approved for use inside the body as a resorbable. We neutralize through highly innovative biochemistry processes. We neutralize those toxicities so that we can maintain all the hemostatic properties, but use it safely inside the body in a resorbable sense. Also, while maintaining, very importantly, the antimicrobial and bacteriostatic inherent properties. So we think that we kind of have the tiger by the tail here, and a platform of products that are high efficacy, high safety, and low cost. That's emphasizing low cost. It's a disruptive value proposition that we bring to the market, and we're in a very focused manner, going about chipping away at some of the biggest opportunities in this $4.4 billion market for resorbable surgical hemostatic agents that is, I think, remarkably ripe for transformational technology.
That's great, Jim. It really sounds like you all are leveraging that which is inspired by nature and making
Yes.
modifications to make the outcome even better. Um, and I know your approach leverages naturally derived polymers. I was wondering if you could share a little bit about that innovation and, and I know you've gone through some of this, but how that might be different from traditional hemostatic technologies.
Yeah, so we our technology, our mechanism of action is different than that of many hemostatic agents that rely on enzymes and proteins that interact with the blood to kick off the clotting cascade. We don't do that. In fact, we don't interact with the blood at all. We our mechanism is one of mucus adhesion. We grip very aggressively to biologically wet tissue without interacting with the blood. And as such, we can be highly effective, and there's other features of the underlying polysaccharide that allows us to do this in a manner that is speaks to some underlying safety issues of the current standard of care technologies. Uh, Specifically, the swelling nature of some of those technologies that have represented many published examples of significant neurodeficit safety risks, as well as uh, potentially addressing the high incidence of or the incidence of infection in a variety of surgical scenarios. We believe that the bacteriostatic nature of our technology will be seen over time as being very advantageous as it relates to that number one complication in many surgical settings. It's going to take it's going to take time and a lot of effort to bear that out scientifically. But we certainly have foundationally a tremendous amount of data and literature to support our understanding of the core technology's ability to address some of these most outstanding issues in the current hemostatic agent field.
Fantastic, Jim. Given your broad background as well in the wound care field, what trends in medical technology, I suppose, most excites you right now, maybe particularly in surgery, wound care, or adjacent fields?
Well, it's going to be self-serving to say this, but it's true, is that is that listen, if you look at you look at a regression analysis of how GDP spending by country on healthcare, you see a nice regression line, and you see, all the countries of the, Western world plotted against that regression. And then there's one country way up outside of that regression, and that's the United States. I don't think that over the long haul, I don't think that our spending on healthcare is sustainable. So what you're seeing increasingly is those technologies that are the solution to healthcare cost problem versus the source of it are going to be embraced by investors and by industry. And our technology, although we have highly disruptive safety advantages that we'll show, we also have tremendous economics, and that is both from a selling entity standpoint and the buyers is we believe is going to play out very persuasively in the market.
Yeah, absolutely, Jim. The economics have to work. Let's talk about, speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about scaling funding and business strategy. What have been the key challenges in scaling Medcura's platform and product pipeline?
When you talk about surgical hemostatic agents, this is a pretty mature market, highly fragmented, mature market, with fragmented, yet with kind of a duopoly in leading from a platform perspective, leading this market. Um, uh, it's not the sexiest field. Surgical hemostatic agents. It's like I said, it's premature. However, therein lies the opportunity because the innovation there's really been a scarcity of innovation in this field for quite a while. Um, what we have aimed for is to provide the market for the first time in a couple decades with a completely novel platform of technologies to take on the duopoly that has really set in and been anchored in this market for quite a while. Um, that is our strategy is one of not bringing incremental technology, but bringing disruptive technology, because that's what it's going to take to unseat a current standard of care. And I think we're accomplishing that.
That's great. So then how do you balance the regulatory, clinical, commercial requirements while driving this innovation forward?
Focus, focus, focus. We our initial program focus is on a product we call Life Gel, which is a flowable hemostatic gel. It's the largest segment in this space. It's a $2.1 billion in 2027, $2.1 billion worldwide space. And it's one where the advantages that we bring in our technology is particularly applicable to its primary use, which is in spinal surgery. So, so while there's a lot of things that we can do and we ultimately will do with this platform because the great versatility of the underlying biopolymer, we as a venture-backed med tech, we need to be focused, and it's painful to be focused. And there's so many other cool things we can do, and we'd love to do. Uh, the right play is to carve out a market opportunity that you can serve with kind of the perfect patients with your showcase product, and go for that with a tactful abandon, and that's what Medcura is doing. There's numerous other platform products that will follow and that we have established early feasibility with. Great, but we realize that if all we do is succeed with LifeGel, we have a blockbuster company and win just with LifeGel. So with that, the entire management team is coalesced around doing whatever it takes for us to succeed as rapidly as we can with bringing the LifeGel surgical hemostatic agent and gel to the U.S. and European markets initially.
That's great, Jim. Focus, focus, focus.
Big time.
Um, now, that may be the answer to this next question, but what advice would you offer startups seeking to build credibility and funding in medical technology broadly?
Well, we have at Medcura, we've taken a little bit of a contrarian approach in that we have not done the universe of healthcare venture investors has morphed over the last decade, and I think has necessitated for a company like Medcura that we seek other sources of financing. So we have, venture investors, the headliner VCs. What they bring credibility, right? Yeah, they flesh out the company and the technology, and when they invest in you, it's a real mark of credibility. And we recognize that, but it's not the only way in which you can establish credibility for your company, your technology. We have sought out a broad array of non-VC investors through unconventional means, and have have brought in industry investment, meaning from the physicians and the distributors that are going to be first in line to use our products. We knew if we put it in their hands that it would be a brick through the window, and they're using the product relative to the other products they've been using the last 20, 25 years. And we did that in demo examples, and those demos turned into investment. In fact, turned into a tremendous amount of investment that then financial investors were pretty quick to follow. And as such, in a matter of less than 2 years, we in two different financings we closed. Now where it's about $36 million at I think very fair valuations. So it's been a tremendous run. I don't know of other biosurgery or hemostatic agent entities that are coming anywhere near that ballpark of scaling.
It's super exciting. Yeah, you're really getting buy-in from the physician distributor community early on, and mixing that with the financial investment community. That's a great model. Really interesting. Jim, let's talk a little bit about your vision for the future and Medcare in general. What is the company's, would you say, long-term vision for transforming surgical care?
Don, all we're just focused on building a great company. We're going to be bringing LifeGel first and foremost to the market. The beauty is that LifeGel also it's a PMA, and but success with LifeGel through the regulatory processes will be foundational for those other formats to follow, meaning other applications of LifeGel outside of spinal surgery and other formats, textile, powder, film foam, other formats that can address the other leading segments in this $4.4 billion market. again, Life Gel and our the advantage is the safety and economic advantages of Life Gel are disruptive, but the and very sexy. But the big idea at Medcura is the versatility of the core biopolymer. And we can mix that core biopolymer with gelatin, and we have Life Gel, but we can also fabricate it into multiple other high safety, high efficacy, low cost formats to allow for us to compete broadly in this across the multiple segments. And we are going to be chipping away at those in a very intentional manner. But again, to your point earlier, it's all about focus until we deliver on Life Gel and the promise of Life Gel. All those other opportunities, they don't really matter that much. We've got to deliver first and foremost on Life Gel, and the progress we've made and the position we're in is super inspiring.
That's awesome, Jim. Let me just ask, I mean, LifeGel is clearly the focus right now. Are there any specific partnerships? You talked some about some of the, potentially new applications, but what are you most excited about from a partnership, new application, yeah, moving towards commercial point of view?
Yeah, I mean, clearly with the value proposition we have, um, there's been a number of expressions of interest from across industry. We are, though, right now we really are just interested in being independent and continue to work through key milestones on this project. There are there are potential development opportunities that have come to us, joint development opportunities and marketing partnerships that we have entertained, but by and large, management team and the board are at one that we are best served by staying, laser focused on bringing Life Gel forward with an excellence in execution. And if we do that, then all those other opportunities will kind of take care of themselves. So we don't spend too much time plotting for or thinking about external engagement. It's really, if we're looking outside, we're looking for physician input and industry input into how we can be better in every way, shape, and form. We've built commercial and scientific advisory boards that are best in class. I mean, for a company like at our size and our stage, to have the team, the external team of advisors that we have is extraordinary. That's because I've recruited the very best people in the industry to lead the Medcura effort, ex senior executives at the biggest players whether it be Johnson Johnson or Baxter or the ex-senior leaders, the most insightful, experienced, accomplished people have been attracted to Medcura and are now driving our project forward.
That's great, Jim. What final thoughts or advice would you like to share with our audience of innovators and executives? There's a lot of people in this call that might not necessarily be in the work that you're in, but just in terms of growing a company, some of the other things that we've talked about. Any final thoughts?
Kind of just to what I just said is so much of it is um, being open to into having a rounded, balanced view as me as a decision maker. I don't want to just rely on my own insights. I want smart, capable, and dedicated people to challenge my thinking. I push things. Okay, I push and I push pretty hard, but I want people who I trust and respect to push back against me and to challenge me and to they themselves want to take initiative on projects. Um, I guess my message is to find the recipe of people you can work with and wrap your arms around them and find something to focus on and do it with a tactful abandon.
Excellent, Jim. Thank you. Last question. How can listeners connect with you or learn more about Medcura's work?
Well, if someone wants to get in contact with me, they could certainly look up our website and learn a little bit about. And our website, I think, is excellent and very comprehensive. And if they have specific questions for me, I'd be happy to chat with people. Listen, I've had a number of others who have played crucial roles in my career and the ascension of my career, and I am also happy to pay it forward in helping others who are have big ideas as to how they can improve healthcare for the patients who rely on us to do so.
Great, Jim. Thank you for that. That wraps up this episode of Executive Insights for Life Sciences Innovators. I appreciated you tuning in and hope you found today's conversation valuable. If you enjoyed the discussion, please be sure to leave a review and share it with your network. Please also mark your calendars for October 20th at 1 p.m. with Gitta Peterson, CEO of Genomic Expression. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you soon.